We built them a park for free twice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's not a
Twice.
you want to know why it's important for you all to come out, whether you enter for 2 hours or 4 hours or whatever, come with the team. It's because the city, they give us permission, they give us guidance, they don't give us a dollar.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Hook, Line, and Shifter, brought to you by yours truly, Bob McCarty. Hope everybody's having another great training week out there, getting ready for nationals, getting ready for ORAM, ready for the Virginia Key, Magic City bicycle race or mountain bike race this weekend. Whatever it is you got going on, hopefully you're having another great training week out there. As always, thank you for watching, subscribing, sharing, liking, everything that I'm trying to do here on Hook, Line, and Shifter for you. Today, I got another great show for you. I got John Voss. John Voss is let's call him one of the head volunteers for Virginia Key Bicycle Trails, which there is a race there this weekend. Sunday, June 28th, Magic City mountain bike race. 4-hour mountain bike race. I'm going to have the results, talk a little bit about the results from the Screaming Eagle on the past weekend. The benefit race that they had up there, 4-lap and 8-lap race. Pretty exciting event. Got a lot to pick apart about that. Another Moto Monday from Markham Park. And then new this week, I got questions from the fans. I got a question from a fan out there, MTB Coach Bob at Gmail, if you have questions too. So I'm going to address that question from the fan, from one of the fans out there. And as always, I can't do this without my sponsors. Thank you, Orcus Technologies, leaders in worldwide telecommunication, ESI Grips, U-Cycling, MASH Mobile Vet, POC Helmets, NV Wheels, Pirelli Tires, and Absolute Black. Check out Absolute Black oval cane rings. Been on them for about 10 years now. 10 years now. I will not ride anything else out there. Today's quote, and this is a tough one. This is a tough one to try and accept. But I'll tell you what, it's true. The lack of success in this sport is your fault. Only when you truly take ownership of all your actions will you succeed. So what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that quote? Don't blame your coach. Don't blame your parents. Don't blame your upbringing. Don't blame your wife, your husband, your kids. When you take ownership in your success or lack of success, you can fix it. Yes, all these other things out there are going to be tools to try and help you. But don't point blame at somebody else. You can fix it. When you own the process, you can fix it. Don't let anybody else own your process. The lack of success, your fault. I know it hurts, but it's true. Lack of success is your fault. Own it. Take responsibility and fix it. Came across that one a couple weeks ago, and man, I'll tell you what, that kind of hit home for me also. All right, this coming weekend, 9 8:30 start time, Virginia Key. Out on Virginia Key, a 4-hour mountain bike race. Magic City mountain bike event out on Virginia Key. Hope you enjoy this interview that I had with John Voss. John Voss, one of the head volunteers out on Virginia Key. Hope you enjoy this with John Voss. All right, so last weekend we had the Screaming Eagle at Quiet Waters Park, and as promised, I have my friend John Voss on with us today. He is one of the head, thanks John, he's one of the head volunteers for Virginia Key. Virginia Key, absolutely beautiful park, but we're going to hear all about that and about the race that they're putting on this weekend, June 28th. June 28th, Sunday, June 28th. John Voss, JV, thanks for coming on Hook, Line, and Shifter today, and brought to us directly from the Orlando airport.
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
So,
thanks.
yeah,
Thanks for taking the time, John.
I like to apologize to everybody because I sure as heck don't look like a mountain biker that swings a chainsaw at Virginia Key, but yeah, I do. And also, this is my time to apologize to Bob McCarty for 20 years of me pulling over to the right so him and all his pals can pass me at all the various mountain bike races.
You were quite courteous thus, John. I greatly appreciate it. Man, I didn't know that it's been 20 years that you've been or that we've been around this sport together. Tell us before we actually get into the event, you are a mountain biker. You're one of the original guys. Tell us a little bit about your history and your past in mountain biking.
Wow. Okay. So you set the Wayback Machine to like the early 90s when I was in Connecticut, home of Cannondale. And as it turns out, I was riding where Cannondale used to test their stuff, in a place called Trumbull. And then I came to Miami in like 96. And like every other single guy in Miami, no, it has nothing to do with dating or clubs. I got robbed. And I lost my bike. And then in the back of the New Times was this Cannondale 400, like with XT, original XT, and a RockShox Judy. And I was looking for places to ride. And somehow I found Markham and then eventually volunteered at Alita. And then about 20 years ago, with the help of Frenchie and some others, started Virginia Key. So 30 plus years of riding. Racing, because somebody's got to finish 12th, right? I'm the man, right? But I have a great, I love the camaraderie, and even if I'm not racing for first, I am racing to pass the 13th guy, so that's fun, but always friendly, right? And I love the sport for 30 some odd years.
And you're gonna keep right on going with it, correct?
I got the scars from Screaming Eagle to prove it. Seriously, on my shin. Don't worry, I'm not going to show anybody. Don't worry.
Thanks. Tell us a little about Screaming Eagle. Because you were there participating in that event. How'd that day go for you?
It was great. Hot as bleep, but it was okay. And the volunteers were great. And I got a little bit messed up on the wooden structures of the bridge, but had a really good time. It was nice. One of the nice things about mountain biking in South Florida is you can count the number of languages, right? I mean, everybody knows the expression XT and on your left. That's international, right? But I heard Portuguese, I heard Spanish, I heard some New York in there from the gosh, what was their names? The Lone Wolves. The Lone Wolves were from Long Island, and they were representing. So it was great. It was great. Well organized. Course was medium challenging. Cross country a little bit tight. Virginia. One of the nice things about parks in South Florida is that every park has its own personality. And I always say Virginia Key is like nothing else in the world down here. And Quiet Waters too, right? Quiet Waters. They built that place twice, right? Yep. It's amazing.
Leading into that, you guys had to build Virginia Key twice. Also, we'll get into that. So John just brought up a great point. We have a bunch of very significant South Florida parks, and each one of them has their own features. So, like I said, this weekend on the 28th, we have our Magic City mountain bike race down in Virginia Key. John, tell us a little bit about the Virginia Key Trails.
Sure. It's and if you follow the club on Facebook and Instagram, I actually put together some clips. The land is basically a landfill from the 1930s of dredge from the harbor. If you look at some old
Oh,
historical stuff, it doesn't exist. The land doesn't exist, aerial photographs. And
oh.
consequently, it drains really well. So whenever you feel guilty about riding in the rain at Markham or Amelia, come to our place. We drain perfect,
Okay. All
right?
right.
And it's also where they filmed Miami Vice, and that's kind of the theme, right? This is a fun event, right? So we want it to be the most Miami race there ever was. Okay, it's bring the neon. The music's gonna be Miami '80s. I don't know if Crockett and Hubs are gonna or Tubbs are gonna show up, or or is it Sprocket and Hubs? I'm not sure, but
That was a nice slip right there of hubs in there. I like that one. Okay.
so there's a part of the park called the Pit, which may or may not be in the trails, right? In the race. But there's a scene of Miami Vice where James Brown is sitting on a throne where the jumps are right now. So,
Wow.
so how much do I love South Florida mountain bikers? I just hung up on my Colombian wife. You may not see me next week.
At least get the course laid out for everybody for everybody.
Every
What can everybody expect based on the trail conditions, and what exactly do you think you're going to lay out? How long is the lap going to be? All that good stuff.
Great. Target length, for those who have participated in the races in the past, it's the first one in 2.5 years, right? So we're going to keep it somewhere around 6 miles, 6.5. We're going to run a couple of things backwards. We're going to avoid most of the tech stuff. By that I mean what is labeled double black or black. There may be a few things backwards, but they'll be XC level. And if you want to know what it's like, come on out Friday and Saturday and pre-ride that thing, right? But
Is it going to be laid out on Friday for everybody?
we'll be out there Friday, so if you want to come after work, it should be fine.
Okay.
For as you may know, the trail names there in honor of Frenchie are all named after classic rock and roll songs and classic artists, right? So
Oh,
when
I
I
never
shout
knew
out
that.
names, yeah. So when I shout out names like Tom Sawyer, Stairway to Heaven, Smoke on the Water, and Rock and Roll, Purple Rain. That's not me shouting out an FM station 105.9. I'm telling you what's in the race. All right.
Okay.
So so come check it. So come check it out. But XC, right? I know I'm excited that we have some juniors and some ladies teams already signed up. So the ladies can hit Panama too. I know they can. Double blacks doesn't scare them, but it's not in the race, right?
Okay.
So yep.
There was so it's a 4 hour race. What time does it actually start on Sunday?
Kids start at 8:30. The adults start at 9:30. For those of you who have participated in fundraising races, both at the Screaming Eagle and Quiet Waters or the Years of Markham, it's like that, right? Markham puts on a high quality, organized race, and that's what we're following here, right? We have the same timers. Okay, we have professional timers coming in, the same people that do the triathlons where there's like 3,000 people running and swimming and dripping and who knows what else they do. Those are the guys who are keeping track of your time. So don't have to worry about that. You guys are putting in the effort. We keep score.
Nice, great. And to register, you go to tryregistration.com, or you can go to Virginia. The link will take you over from the Virginia Key Bicycle Club.org. Any one of the links. So it's a 4 hour solo competition and or team competition. I had I'll be down there for the event, and I had a couple questions over the last week. And one of the questions that came up, and I said, I'm going to ask John on the show. I'll put him under the gun and see, why is there not a 2 hour category? Because there are some people that just don't want to necessarily be on a team, and the thought of racing a bicycle for 4 hours. Why did you elect to not put a 2 hour category in?
It's a good question, and this is our inaugural. And honestly, when I talked to the guy, and I'll take responsibility for it. It's me. Okay, but when you talk to Dave at Markham, and more interesting, when you look at the stats, right? When Markham has done both versions, they get as many people signed up for their 40. The most popular race that Markham does is their Rumble in the Jungle, which
Hmm.
only offers the extended remix version, only the
Okay.
extended, right?
Okay.
So here's what I would tell all those people. I understand. Go make some friends, right? Go make some friends. Find one guy that's in your WhatsApp, do a duo, and let's go, right? And it's fun, right? I mean, push yourself, see where you're at, right? But it's a fun time. It's a fun time,
I
right?
couldn't I couldn't
So
agree I couldn't agree with you more. What do you anticipate lap times to be, or how many laps do you think the leaders might click off in the generally the soloists they're pretty close to what a top team is going to do. How many laps do you think are you anticipating, or what kind of lap times do you think are going to happen?
well, there's the Bob McCarthy zone, and then there's every. No, I'm just kidding. 35 minutes. 35 minutes, I guess.
Okay.
Because there are. The nice thing about Virginia Key is that you do have places to recover, right? Or if you want, cruise through the single track and hammer on the straights, right? So
Hmm.
35 minutes is where I think the leaders would be. For those
Okay.
of you who have raced in the past, right, and have done the gone riding, I expect lap times to be similar there, right?
Okay.
I have, one of the nice things about Virginia Key, and everybody's freaked out about the heat. I was actually, most of Virginia Key is actually pretty shaded, right? The trails themselves are shaded. So we actually are prioritizing the ocean views and the shade, right, when we're going through everything.
It
So
is it is absolutely a beautiful park. And having said all that, when you say that it is shaded, in the pre-interview we were talking a little bit about this is the second time that Virginia Key had to get built. I believe it was Hurricane Wilma, correct?
uh, Irma. Wilma was when we rebuilt Olita. I remember I did
Oh,
that one
Alita
too.
and Markham. Okay, so the park did it literally got devastated pretty bad that how many years before we officially or before you really officially got back in there to open things up? Wasn't it 2 years or something?
No, because we were insane. It was 2017. I think we had at least 3 miles open in like 3 months. It was
Oh wow.
insane. We couldn't. The first day we came back in, it took us about 2 hours just to walk from the gate to the containers, just to
Right.
walk, right? And I think the statute of limitations has passed. I always, I give at Thanksgiving. I always say a prayer because back then FEMA was giving out chainsaws to anybody who asked, and it's amazing how nobody got hurt in 2017 cutting down everything. But it was impressive, and yeah, we built it twice, and I think all volunteers are, there's always a balance between, hey, my hobby is building trails versus my hobby is mountain biking. And one thing that has improved at Virginia Key, if you like fast and smooth and flowy, is that balance is back, right?
Hmm.
There's plenty of places to smooth, carry momentum, to to chill, right? I mean, part of the park, we had a very successful reopening of the jump section called Another One Bites the Dust. It was before heavily bridged and wooded, and now it's a combination of that and bank turns and all that stuff. Don't worry, it's not in the race, but it's an
Okay.
example of how flow and whatnot has taken over. And one of the
Why?
things, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say why do you volunteer? why do you volunteer? Because you guys are a unique bunch, and you've been at it for so long. Why do you volunteer like you do, or spend the time that you do in those trails?
Apparently, you've been talking to my wife, who asked me the same thing. Um, so we love mountain biking, right? And 20 some odd years ago, Miami literally was ranked in the bottom two places in the United States to cycle. That was the cover of Bicycling magazine.
Wow, okay.
And thanks to Frenchie and me, I guess at that first meeting, and a few others, Max Cycle from the industry, we built them a park for free twice.
Hmm.
Okay, there's not a
Twice.
you want to know why it's important for you all to come out, whether you enter for 2 hours or 4 hours or whatever, come with a team. It's because the city, they give us permission, they give us guidance, they don't give us a dollar. Okay, and your race entry, okay, and your promotion and your sponsorship, if you're a small business owner, tax deductible, guys, and I get you right up front at the pit in the pit area. Okay, that money goes to pay for the bush hogs and the tractors and the tools and the dirt, the things that we need. Okay, it doesn't come from the city. I'm sorry, it doesn't come from your admission, all the tools. It comes from your race entry. Okay, it's a race entry. It's also a donation. So please support us. We need you, and it's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Number one, it's going to be fun. Number two, that entry fee is going to 100% of it goes directly to you guys to buy the tools, to buy the dirt. If you do have the opportunity, or anybody has the opportunity to go down, it is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful location. I said in this show last week with Nick that if there was actually land value, which because it's a fill, there's no value. That land value by far is probably the most expensive acreage for a mountain bike park, I would say, in the world.
It's
It's
six.
that valuable.
It's 60 acres. Your lap will give you ocean views three times. Okay, it's like no other place in the world. Bring the
Absolutely.
bring the bring the family, okay, and send them to the beach. Down the side, right by the start finish. There's a beach down there. Have them chill. Okay,
Oh,
bring the barbecue. We're pretty sure that we're gonna have a Cuban sandwich food truck on cafecito and whatnot, right? Clearly, I'm from Connecticut, but a message to my Spanish people. Oye, gente, venga. Okay, eso va a ser fabuloso. No habla, montas. Anyway, bye.
whatever you just said sounds good to me, John. So to come out for the event this weekend, it's the Magic City Mountain Bike Race at Virginia Key, Sunday, June 28th. Register on tryregistration.com, or you can go to directly through their website at virginiakeybicycleclub.org, and you can find it very easily on Facebook and all of the socials. $60, I believe, is the entry fee for the solo category, 200 for the team categories of
For the
up
core
to
team.
for the four-person team. And remember, 100% of the proceeds go directly to keeping this park absolutely amazing like it is. One of the things that I would keep in mind is that South Florida traffic is always there, so give yourself ample time to try and get down to out on the Virginia Key. You're going to have to pay a fee to get out onto the Key both times, one out onto Virginia Key or out on the Key Biscayne, and then one to actually go out onto out to the trail system, but well worth it. In the Screaming Eagle race, I suggested also come out, support, sign up if you can race, sign up if you can't race. It's a good opportunity. Just sit in front of your computer, click that registration, pay the $60 because these guys work their asses off to keep the park as beautiful as it is for us on a regular basis. And again, for all you mountain bikers out there, you will never never find another park that's more beautiful than riding Virginia Key and getting to stare over the Atlantic Ocean like we get the opportunity to do. John, anything else for us today?
Yeah, two things actually. Number one, most of us on this line are parents, right? We have the biggest growing part of our membership is kids, right? We have an excellent kids program. We have regular Sunday rides. It's paused during the summer, but we have a regular Sunday ride. It's 30, 40 kids, okay? We have a special kids category, okay? So bring the kids out early so they can experience racing, right? And also, I got something controversial to say.
Uh-oh, here we go.
E-biking is not a crime. Y'all asked for an e-bike category, so we got it. Where are you guys? Because I see you riding, okay? I see you riding the trails. Put your money and your watts where your mouth is, okay? 2 laps, 130. Let's go.
Nice. That's it? That's all you got for me, John? Those two things?
Oh, I could go. Oh, I could go forever, but you got people to train, and I got to get on a train.
Nice.
So
Nice. Well, John, again, thank you for your time today and sharing all your experiences and being such an amazing volunteer to keep this park as beautiful it is. Look forward to seeing you this weekend, Sunday, June 28th, out on Virginia Key for the Magic City Mountain Bike Race. Again, JV, thank you so much for coming on HLS today. I appreciate your time.
Bob, thank you. And thank you for everything you've done for the community. And Bob's a great trainer. He actually helped me achieve my personal goals too. He's awesome. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, John. We'll see you this weekend, buddy. Be well.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. That guy, John Voss, man, he's a trip. What a good guy to talk to. Hope everybody has the opportunity to come out this weekend and race on Virginia Key. Conditions should be pretty good. It's right on the beach. Like I said in the interview, absolutely amazing place to ride your bike. Sign up, tryregistration.com, go over to their website, and it's just $60. Just $60, and every dollar goes directly to the volunteers, so they can buy tools, like John said. So they can buy tools, they can buy fill, they can do everything they have to do out there. Without these volunteers, I'll tell you what, we would have a shitty trail system. But thank God we have these volunteers to do everything that they do. All right. So last weekend was the Screaming Eagle at Quiet Waters Park. Screaming Eagle at Quiet Waters Park. It was a 20-mile or 40-mile race, and a lot of exciting things happened. 9:30 was the start time on Sunday. I elected to do the 8-lap race. The 2-hour, 4-hour, 20-mile or 40-mile wound up being 4-lap or 8-lap. That was the way that it actually broke down. So on the starting line up on the front row and hanging out with everybody. And I had two of the main guys. I had Bala and Doug. Bala was on my right side. Doug was over on my left side. On the starting line, I'm assuming everybody's out for the 8-lap race. So they say go, we take off. I go into the trails in first, and Bala and Doug were on my wheel. Lap 1 goes by, still putting down put down a pretty good time. Lap 2 goes by, same thing. I'm still in the lead. This guy's on my wheel. Lap 3 goes by. Guys are still on my wheel. Head out for lap 4, and about 3/4 of the way through lap 4, I go, you know what? This is in my head. I go, I've had enough of this dragging these guys around. Let them do some work. So I wave them through in a specific area. Next thing I know, out of the saddle, sprinting, like taken off away from me. What's going through my head? I'm thinking to myself, what the hell are these guys doing? We got four more laps to do, man. This is a pretty brave endeavor to try and attack me this soon, or try and get away this quick midway through the race. So I'm doing my thing. We caught a couple lappers at that point, so we got back together again, and there was a kind of a chute that we had to go around to the finish line. I come around the chute. Those guys, they were a little bit in front of me at this point. We cross through the chute, and the two of them peel off course. The hell, man! I didn't even know what happened. Oh, that's what happened. They were doing the 4-lap race. I was doing the 8-lap. Would I have done anything different? Absolutely. If you're in a 2-hour race, or a 20-mile race, and I'm in a 40-mile race, you're doing 4 laps and I'm doing 8 laps, I sure as hell ain't gonna work for you. You 4-lap guys need to work for me, because I got another 4 to do after that. After the race was over, I wound up picking up the win in the solo category. After the race was over, I went up and was talking to Douglas. Doug, thanks for the conversation. I actually said the same thing to Bala. Dude, what the hell was that, man? I didn't even know you guys were doing the 4-lap race. Doug starts laughing. He's like, yeah, kind of on the starting line, we were wasn't sure if I wanted to tell you or not, but yeah, we were only doing the 4-lap race. Hey, it is what it is. The interesting part for me was these are some of my the overall race statistics. And I believe this race was 607 or 608 for me. And I'm still learning. About this sport, even having this many races in my career. So what's interesting to me with that is I got a lot of questions about race tactics, racing, didn't figure it out, lap times, how do you sustain? And the big one is what is the secret? What is the secret? So in the race, Bala got the win in the 20-mile, and Doug got the win in the Doug got second in the 20-mile. And as far as the 40 mile goes, I got the win. I got the win in that category. So it was 8 laps. So what were my lap times? Hovered right around, my fast lap was a 19:58, and my slow lap was a 20:44. So just under 1 minute. So I went roughly 20 minutes all day long. Pacing yourself, understanding what your body can do, and focusing in on the second half of the race. That was simply my strategy. Trying to pick up on my efficiencies as the day went on, knowing that I wasn't going to get stronger as the day goes on. As fatigue sets in, efficiency has to get better for you. I was on point with my lines, the 3 L's, lines, legs, and limbs. I was on point with my lines, figuring exactly what my legs need to do, and then limbs meaning my arm, the handleability of the bike. All that was clicking for me also. But the mystery question always comes up, and it's, what is the secret? What is the secret to what you're doing? There ain't no secret. There ain't no secret to what you have to do in the sport. I think you know what you have to do in the sport. You have to train. Nothing replaces saddle time. So if you wanna be the next star, or you want to be super successful out racing, what does it take? It takes training, consistent training, week in and week out, month in and month out, year in and year out. I'm 32 years into racing my bike, but I'm relentless about training. Every day, 6 days a week. 6 days a week I'm training. If I'm racing, then it winds up being a 7-day week for me. Number of hours that I put in, anywhere between 16, 18 to as many as 24 in a week. Number of miles, anywhere on a low week might be 200, 240. On a good week, somewhere over 300 miles. The biggest one is going to be TSS for you Training Peaks people out there. A little bit later on in the show, when I talk about the questions from the fans, I'm going to exactly get into that TSS, and it'll give you a better understanding of what I'm referring to with TSS and TSS points. So bottom line is this: there ain't no secret, man. There ain't no secret to the sport. Stop asking what the secret is. Stop asking what am I drinking? What am I eating? I'm drinking the right stuff. I have a very balanced diet. Don't eat a lot of shit. But I'm training, man. I'm training. Nothing replaces that saddle time. Get out there and push. Test your limits of your body. I had a new guy that came around a couple weeks ago, and one of the first questions that he said was how do you go so fast? This was at one of my Thursday night trainings. How do you go so fast? What's the secret? Ain't no secret, man. It was actually at Vistabview, one of my climbing courses. I've been there 21 years. 21 years climbing on the hill. The guy's been there. This was the first time that this guy showed up, and kind of understood what just how hard it was, but was looking for the immediate success. There ain't no immediate success. You got to get out there and ride. Consistency is what makes the difference in this sport. So long-winded sentence to Quiet Waters Park about training, but man, what a great event that they had. The Screaming Eagle. Those were the results from the Screaming Eagle out of Quiet Waters Park fundraiser. If you ever have the opportunity, man, thank every one of those volunteers. Throw them a couple bucks. It's only going to help us. It's only going to help the trail system stay as beautiful as it actually is. So once again, this weekend coming up, we got that Virginia Key race out on Virginia Key, Magic City Mountain Bike Race. Again, you can go on to tryregistration.com to go ahead and get yourself registered. It's a 4-hour mountain bike race, team or solo competition. All right. Questions from the fans. This one actually came into me this week. You can send me questions at any time. mtbcoachbob@gmail.com. Again, it's mtbcoachbob@gmail. Send me any questions that you have. I will address them to the best of my knowledge, or I will get somebody on the show that'll be able to answer the question better than I can actually do it. So this question came in this week. Came in from a Jim. Jim wrote, "Hey Bob, FSC, the Florida State Championship Series, is roughly 3 months away. It's about 12 weeks or so. What's a drill I can do the next 12 weeks to get me even more prepared? Thanks." All right, Jim, here we go. FSC is 12 weeks away. You can make a difference to be prepared for this event. What is it going to be? Intervals, long rides, zone riding, and time inside the trail. That's generally the categories that you're gonna focus in on. But ultimately, what matters to me most? Number one, Jim, make sure you have a Training Peaks account, premium Training Peaks account, roughly $13-14 a month. Your Training Peaks account is going to be able to track all of the rides that you're doing and quantify the rides. So I said earlier about TSS. TSS is a training stress score. What that simply means is what kind of stress are you putting on your body? It's quantifying in points the amount of effort that you put in while riding. You have to have power. So number one, training peaks account. Number two, get yourself on power. Get a good idea of what your threshold is. You can do an FTP test, a 20-minute test, take 95% of it, or 2 8-minute tests, take the average of 2 at 90% of that. That'll roughly give you about what your threshold is. Make sure your threshold is set accurate. Therefore, your zone riding can be on point, as well as your TSS points. TSS, training stress score. So first and foremost, I would say this. If you've got 12 weeks out from Tallahassee, my first recommendation is 500 TSS over 4 days for week 12 weeks out. Week 11, 525 TSS points over 4 days. 10 weeks out, 550 TSS points over 4 days. 9 weeks out, 575 over 4 days. And then 8 weeks out, we're going up to 600, but we're going to put it over 5 days. 7 weeks out, go ahead and give yourself a rest week. Rest week doesn't mean you are not going to ride your bike. It just means you're not going to have the intensity behind it. You're going to pull in roughly a 300 TSS point week and 3 days of riding, and not in a row, not back to back. Value that time that you can spend off the bike to give your body and your brain time to heal. 6 weeks out, you're going to jump right back into 575 TSS for 4 days. 5 weeks out, 600 TSS for over 5 days. 4 weeks out, 625 TSS over 5 days. 3 weeks out, 650 TSS over 5 days. 2 weeks out, going to get yourself another rest week, but this time you're going to up it to 400 TSS. And again, give yourself some rest days. It's going to be over 3 days, but don't do those 3 days in a row. 1 week out from Tallahassee, you're going to bump it up to 650 TSS, but this time you're going to get it over 4 days, value a little bit of rest, and then go ahead into that final week leading up to Tallahassee. You're going to ride earlier in the week, give yourself a couple days of rest, and then get ready. One of the biggest things, I think the biggest mistakes when it comes to thinking about being ready for the Florida State Championship Series is the series starts in September. It's going to go all the way to December. If you chase the entire series, it's going to be roughly 10 weekends of racing that you're going to have to do, nine or 10 weekends. But the point is, you try to not come into Tallahassee the first weekend or second weekend of September with yourself in shape and ready to go. What you're shooting for being in shape is sometime around late October. So you're going to build into some fitness. You're going to carry that fitness through, max out that fitness somewhere around mid-October, late October, carry it through November, and then hang on to it in December. You cannot come into Tallahassee full-blown ready to go and expect to hold the same fitness rolling into December. So TSS, that training stress score, is something that I really pride myself on. I'm generally a 4-digit person, which means I try to hover somewhere around 1,000 points every week. Some week, a good week for me is around 1,200. Bad week for me is around 800 or so, or 900. If you look in this picture here, I talked a lot about a little bit earlier in the show. I talked about the consistency to get better or to be successful in the sport. In this picture, you can see that I have my 11 years worth of stats, and you can see what my TSSs have been. Age, what was the year, the number of hours that I've spent training, number of miles that I ride, elevation gain, and then the number of races. Nothing replaces racing, man. You got to get out there and race. Try and learn every single time that you line up. After Quiet Waters, I had another great conversation with one of my clients. A little bit disappointed with his performance and his hydration, nutrition, blah blah blah. All that was a little bit off. Come to find out that the last time that he did one of these races was, I think it was 7 or 8 months ago. 7 or 8 months ago was the last time he did it. How do you expect to perfect the process if you don't put yourself out there and get into these to do these races again and again to learn what it is that you have to do? Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask Bob what the secret is. Tell you what the secret is. Get your ass out there and ride. Get out there and race. And you got to experiment. You got to see what's going to work. Practice. Nothing replaces, it's a motocross term, but nothing replaces gate drops, the intensity, the energy that goes into that day. Yes, you're going to try and train as hard as you possibly can to mimic race day, but nothing replaces race day. So get out there and race. And for God's sake, man, you gotta train. Oh, but Bob, it's so hot in South Florida. I said this in I said this in my show last week. 5 o'clock in the mornings, it's always 75 degrees. What are you doing at 5 o'clock in the morning? I can't get up at that time. This goes back to the quote at the beginning of the show. You got to own it, man. You got to own the process. Don't come to me and tell me that you suck and then follow it up with, I can't get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to ride my bike. It's too hot. You got to own it, man. You got to own the process, own the work, take responsibility for your actions and fix it. This isn't hard. In some of the speeches that I have to give before my some of the rides that I do during the week, one of the things that I'm constantly talking about is that what you did and who you were 5 minutes ago does not have to be who you are right now. Does not have to be who you are 5 minutes from now. The luxury that we have of being a human is we can change. We can fix this. You don't have to stay in the same funk that you're in. Get out of it. But man, I'm gonna say it till I'm blue in the face. This is a sport that's quite challenging. Why is it so challenging? Because you have to be consistent. You're gonna suffer. You're gonna want to throw up. You're going to want to pass out, but that's only temporary. Get your ass up in the morning, go through these emotions and do it again and again and again. Make it part of a routine, make it a lifestyle, but man, own it. Got to own everything that's going on. It's not your coach's problems, not your family's problems, not the wife, not the kids, not your husband, not your family, yours. You can fix this. Once you own it, giving you the power to fix it. All right. Once again, we got another Moto Monday at Markham Park. I hope you enjoy this commentary at Moto Monday. Thanks for watching. All right, and here we go for another Moto Monday. At the end of this fire road, going to hang a right-hand turn and hop over to Dark Side. This is considered the adaptive trail. I've had this in some of my videos before. You're going to hear me say it a couple times today in this. We're always going to focus in on lines, legs, and limb. Lines simply mean, where is that front wheel when I'm riding through the trail? I'm going to create dots or marks, refer to hitting my mark. A mark is simply something inside the trail that I'm going to make sure the front tire runs over, goes inside of, or maybe goes outside of. Around this next hand corner, we're going to take a left, a slight paver uphill. Off on the left side is the roll into the jump line. All right, up and over this log, or up and over to the right here. Going to drop down. Off to the right side, we're going to come back into that section. The end of this, there's going to be a small double. You hit it hot, so you're really trying to absorb it. This double should actually be larger, much larger than it is. Alright, and at the end of this section, we're going to drop down, go up a hill. Once we go down these pavers, there's going to be a double. Double that I'm going to run into the first paver. It's pretty aggressive to a right-hand turn. And we're going to head into Area 51. Area 51 is a really, really cool section. The reason I can say that it's really cool is because I'm not afraid to leave the ground. If you're afraid to leave the ground, you might not be that crazy about Area 51. Alright, gonna go up this wood ramp, hang a right-hand turn, drop in, and we're gonna get started. First around this left-hander to a right-hander, and then a very aggressive double down. To another double, and yet to another double. Alright, straight through all of this, around this berm, over to a wood tabletop. Alright, in front of us after this wood turn, after this wood berm, I'm going to take the right line. This is the new, very, very aggressive double. And then to a step-up double. Once again, out here, I'm always trying to focus in on exactly what is my line choice. What are my legs doing, and what are my arms doing? Limbs. Lines, legs, and limbs. Limbs meaning my arms. My elbows are up. Calling it a bulldog position. I'm going to do a paver double out of this. So my arms are up in that bulldog position. The reason they're up in a bulldog position, it gives my hands a very light feeling on the grip. And always, always keep in mind that you're controlling the handlebar from your elbows. As long as your elbows are up and forward, you can maintain that light grip on the bar. Swinging your elbows essentially is what's going to move your hands. You're never trying to push and pull the handlebar. Maintain that light grip.
Thank you. Have fun.
Alright, I'm going to use the bottom of the tree as my mark. Around these pavers. Alright, and from here we're going to head into Las Olas. Las Olas is a little bit of a tight, twisty area, but it's very, very good to focus in on your line choice. Again, line choice, making that front wheel exactly where I want it. Close to the bottom of the tree, again using that as a mark. So lines, legs, and limbs. Legs are, you got 4 positions for your legs when cornered. Number, we call it level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. Level 1 simply means you're going to stay in the saddle and pedal. Right here is going to be a level 1. I'm going to stay in the saddle and pedal. Right after this, I'm going to drop down to a level 3, which means I'm standing with my outside leg forward. Level 2 would be seated with your outside leg down. And level 4 would be standing with your outside leg down. Out of this, there's a new double that they create. Paver double. Pretty long. And then we're going to go up and over this mound and then hit a new tabletop right here. We are in Route 66 right now, the end of Route 66. This is kind of the second half of Route 66. In one of the other episodes, I talked about getting hurt right before I went to Africa. Where did it happen? It happened right here. Yep, landed on the right side after all those roots. Messed up my shoulder. Yeah, but I was still ready for Africa. Alright, inside Route 66 right now, the end of Route 66, a little bit on the slick side. About 2 turns from now, there was a root. There is a root that almost made me cry. Right here around the right-hand turn, there winds up being a root that was buried under the mud, wound up being slick. When you're trying to pick your line choice, always have to consider routes. There's 3 styles of routes to be concerned about. You have parallel to the front wheel, perpendicular to the front wheel, and diagonal to the front wheel. Parallel to the front wheel means just pick one side or the other. Perpendicular to the front wheel, just pick that front wheel up so you don't run into diagonal. Diagonal are the ones that get you. Why? When you create lean angle in the bike wants to wash out, wants to slide on that route. But be careful for diagonal routes. Little manual out of the trail and back down this middle trail. Once again, that was the first lap of Moto Monday at Markham Park. Enjoy this second one. Make sure you're focused in on all those lines, legs. Can't see my legs. My limbs, and then how I utilize the trail to hit my mark. Enjoy. All right, another really good Moto Monday with my guys training every single week. 5:30 at Markham Park. If you want to come out and join us, feel free. Trust me, it's not a ride. It's not a ride that you're gonna, or maybe you can. You're not gonna challenge yourself against us, or maybe you can. But I have anywhere between 25, 35, sometimes 40 people show up, all different skill levels. Whole point of Moto Monday is that we do not ride the entire park. As you saw in the video, I created cut through in one of the trails just to kind of shorten the loop. Therefore, the loop is only 7 or 9 minutes long, and we do it for 75 minutes. When you're practicing mountain biking, man, practice mountain biking. One lap of your local park that takes you an hour or 75 minutes or 90 minutes. My opinion, that is not practicing mountain biking. I said it in the video again and again. Make sure you pay attention to your lines, legs, and limbs. In that video, you heard me say it a lot. Line selection, where is that front wheel? Legs, what are your legs doing? Are you pedaling through a corner? Are you seated with your outside leg down? You standing with your outside leg forward? Or you standing with your outside leg down? And then your limbs, making sure that your elbows are up and forward. You're moving the handlebars with your elbows. You don't move the handlebars with your hands. Your hands are an extension of your elbows. When you get in that position, you can stay very light and nimble on the handlebars. So once again, I hope you enjoyed that Moto Monday. I hope you enjoyed this entire episode of Hook, Line, and Shifter. What a joy it was to talk to John Voss about the Magic City mountain bike race. Next week, I will have on. I'll do a recap of that entire race and maybe pick out somebody from the race to go ahead and interview them. And we'll talk a little bit more next week about nationals coming up in Roanoke, Virginia. We have Marathon Nationals on Sunday, July 12th. So I'll cover some details with that. John Voss, Magic City mountain bike race, Quiet Waters, Screaming Eagle results. Those 4-lap guys really worked me by not telling me anything, even though I had to do 8 laps out there. Enjoyed that Moto Monday. Questions from the fans. What can I do getting ready for the Florida State Championship Series approximately 12 weeks from now? Hopefully you make that useful, those numbers somewhat useful for you. What exactly you're going to do, man, that's completely up to you, but focus in on those numbers. You can drive TSS through effort and through intensity and or duration. Yeah. 12 weeks away to the Florida State Championship Series. as we get closer and closer, I'll continue to talk a little bit more about what we can expect for the Florida State Series. And as always, I can't do any of this without my fine sponsors. Thank you, Orcus Technology, ESI Grips, U-Cycling, MASH, Mobile Vet, Hawk Helmets, NV Wheels, Pirelli Tires, and Absolute Black. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and if you would like to be a sponsor on this show, Hook, Line, and Shifter, please feel free to reach out to me at mtbcoachbob@gmail.com, as well as any questions that you have or topics that you want me to address, mtbcoachbob@gmail.com. Hope everybody has another great training week. Look forward to talking next week. Be well.